right, we are back.
Yep.
SLM Podcast, episode number 7.
Oh, yeah, number 7.
We are going to pick up on our discussion we had last time in episode number 6, featuring Kevin Lizat. In the studio today, our second in-person guest, Mr. Rick Stuart.
All right.
What it do, man?
What's going on, man?
Rick, I know you are one of the founding members of ZombieFace. Let everybody know what other bands you're in.
I am also in Victims of a System. It's a tribute to System of a Down. And I am in Spiritus, a tribute to Ghost.
All right.
Okay. All right, we're going to get into some things with Rick here that were said last time. He wanted to clear the air on his side. Before we get to that, though, we got updated information on the SLM Awards show.
All right.
As was stated last time, Dead Set Red will be headlining this year.
Okay.
So we got, and the other news is Blackbird Rain is the news this week. Blackbird Rain has been added to the show lineup.
All right.
So you're going to get to see them live in concert. Brand new band all put together. Former members of other bands. Great talent there.
Yeah.
And then the other news that SLM decided to announce, we are coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
Had to brush off the microphones. Don-Tino, Johnny V, the whole SLM family is going to be performing live. We're going to have some guest people on stage with us.
Right.
Maybe some of the Dope House family, the Salty Water Records family, everybody that we have been doing music with for the past 20 years. We're going to have as many as we can come on stage with us.
All right.
This will be our first full performance in like over 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to have to start running or something and get back in shape. I haven't performed in a while, but we got some time.
Yeah.
December 17th.
Yeah.
Make sure you are there.
Free show.
Sponsorships are still available. If you want to sponsor a table, if you want to sponsor an award, if you want to sponsor the event, that is all available. Get at me. I will be putting out that information as soon as I get all of the info myself. But December 17th, Scout Bar. It is the 6th annual SLM Award Show. Legend Award recipient this year will be Houston rap legend herself, Powder.
Oh, yeah.
She will be there. Maybe we can get her to perform.
Yeah.
Let's hear some old Make It Hot or something like that. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll have to keep getting her.
All right. Well, Mr. Rick Stewart, you came all the way over here.
Yeah, it was a bit of a drive.
Bit of a drive. What part of Houston? I know you're like up north side.
No, I'm in Channelview.
Oh, you're in Channelview.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not way across town, but it's still kind of
Still far, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like an hour away from everything.
Oh, man.
Like I'm on the wrong side of town.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, man.
I got you. All right. Okay. So last time we were all here, we spoke with your former frontman, Kevin Lizat.
Right.
We heard some things from him about why the band didn't work out, and I guess start from the beginning how you want to, but some of the things that need to be answered were some of the things that he brought to the table.
Right.
And one of them was that he went to you guys and said that he wanted to do this other project on his own.
Mm-hmm.
All you guys agreed, but the moment you guys heard who was going to be involved in the project, that's when you guys had a problem.
Right.
Is that how that piece went down?
Yes and no. The one thing I want to clarify right off the bat is that Kevin didn't outright lie about anything. Okay, he just left out a lot of details, and his perspective of it is a little askewed. Now, that's jumping forward a little bit. That was, we had already been in band for about a year. Well, we had him in the band for about a year. You want me to start at the beginning or jump from there?
Your story, so you
Okay.
got to tell it.
All right. So, basically, we had a little project going on that I came up with called ZombieFace, and we were looking for members, and I put an ad on Craigslist about it, just like what he said, and he hit me up. He sent me a couple of demo tracks, and I was like, all right, cool. He had a good little mix to his vocals, the way he was, he had variety, which is what I was looking for. And he understood that we're a horror themed band, that's what we're going for, and to put on a show, make it visual, you know what I mean, something something that's a little different than what's going on in the scene. But we were all pretty much new to this. Like, I had been in another band, and actually, I was in an alternative rock band called Mannequin on the Moon, and Kevin was actually a fan of mine. He left that part out. He was actually a fan of mine. So when he met me, he was like, yeah, it's a shame what happened with, the last band and blah, 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 blah. So whatever, we auditioned him. He back then he had a wife. And, cute kid. She was some 19-year-old kid. And she really kept him grounded. And she was always there for his audition. And right off the bat, I was like, this kid here, he's fucking looks just like Manson. But that's what we're, ironically, that's kind of what we're looking for at this moment. So we gave him the gig, and, he was fucking thrilled. We were thrilled about having him on, and he was very humble. He was very chill, And, we at the time, we had a couple songs that I had written. But I had this one song that did not have vocals, And I told him, all right, look, we got 4 songs, I believe it was at the time. These 3 have vocals, this one does not. And I told him, all I have for this song is a title and the subject matter. And I was like, fucking, this is your assignment. And he came up with something that, was good to what we were looking for. So once we had enough songs going, we started doing shows. That's when we realized that we were a solid unit. You know what I mean? And we were, like I said, we were picking up steam, picking up traction. People were digging us. And then is when all the shit started happening. So it wasn't, at first sight, like everything went to shit. No, everything was great for a while.
Oh, okay.
And, I mean, like, I don't want to, put his personal business out there, right? But since he kind of did, since he did what he did, said what he said, I mean, what happened was we started getting more attention. We started getting more traction. And we noticed right away, he started getting lead man syndrome, lead singer syndrome. And we noticed that. His little ego started growing to the point where he started bad-mouthing other bands. He started bad-mouthing venues. And I would have to, basically do damage control. Like every time I've had a bunch of like venue owners and promoters and bookers like call me personally and tell me, hey, your singer's saying this, your singer's doing this. And I gotta be like, look, I'm sorry about him. His views don't reflect ZombieFace. It's his personal views.
I see.
And somewhere along the way, because at the time, like I said, Kevin was real humble. He was a fucking sweetheart, dude. He was my brother. He was a really good friend of mine. He decided that I don't know if he wanted to fuck around. I don't know what it was, but in that scene that we were in, we were getting a lot of attention, a lot of female attention. But the thing is, we were all married.
I get you.
So the only one that
was he still with the wife at that time?
Yeah, she was there at every one of our shows. But what happened was he, for whatever reason, which this is just my opinion, but it looked to me like, because from what conversations that we had, he wanted to fuck around. He wanted to take advantage of all the female attention we were getting. So he left his wife and sent her ass back home to like fucking Washington. I don't know what state it was, but he sent her away, and that's when we realized his ego was starting to get kind of up there, kind of inflated. And we all wore masks, so we were almost like, we were not I was not the face of the band.
Right.
In fact, my stage name at the time was Faceless, so all more to the point of I'm not the face of this band. But that's because I've always been a guitarist, and I was never like, I'd rather just put everything together and make it happen. You know what I mean? And let someone else be the face of it. And that's what we did with Kevin. And Kevin was the front man for a good while, but once shit started going south, like really bad. The thing about him starting another band, I don't give a fuck who he started the band with. Like, it was Russ Driver. I wasn't upset about Russ. Well, I have nothing against Russ Driver. He's an amazing guitarist. It's just at the time, we were all taking ZombieFace very serious, right? Like super serious. But like you said, because we had families and stuff, we couldn't travel, we couldn't tour, we couldn't do any of that shit. And Kevin wants to rule the world, bless his heart. So we met up at that McDonald's and we talked about it. And Yeah, we all said we were cool. We were cool with it. I don't think the exact words were we were cool with it. It was a while ago, but I was upset because in my head I was like, well, I thought this is what we were focusing on. I thought this was our brotherhood. This is everything that we were supposed to be. So it's not that I was upset about who he was doing the band with. I was upset that he was doing the band in the first place. Now, the reason I said okay, that I was okay with it, and then, like I said, it wasn't all hugs and like, oh, yeah, dude, go for it, It wasn't like that at all. It was like, I'm not going to tell another grown man what to do with his life.
Yeah, I got you.
So I'm like, I don't approve of it, but I'm not going to stop you. So he went in and did it, but that's when all of our problems really, really started. Like, the end was near. And, I don't want to say the end of ZombieFace, because we're still around, but the end of that era of Zombie, which I call Era 1, actually. That era of ZombieFace was coming to an end. And it's just, one of those things that over time, he kept going and kept going. And for about a good 6 months, the drummer and I, Cody, we talked about, like, we got to get rid of this kid. Like, he's, we got to get rid of him because he's causing us a lot of problems, a lot of, just a lot of drama, right? Because one thing about me is, like, we're dramatic, like, on stage.
Right.
I'm dramatic, but I'm not a drama addict. You know what I mean? So, like, all that shit that's going on is like I'm separated from it. But unfortunately, because I'm in, in chains with these 4 guys, anything that any of them do comes back on me.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin was making ZombieFace look bad. I mean, he talked about blowing up a venue. Like, he said a lot of stupid shit that, his defense is, it's my opinion, and I'm like, I get it, but that can only get you so far.
Do you think at some point he was turning into the art form?
Sort of, yeah. Because, see, well, the thing is, our songs were about, our songs are open to interpretation. The way I write the lyrics are in a way to where you can take it literal or you can take it metaphorically. Mm-hmm. So, like, the song that he wrote is called United Hate of America, right? I told him, again, when he got the song, I told him what the song is called and what the song needs to be about. So he did not have 100% free reign, like he claims. But what he came up with, I really fucking dug it, And what that song is about is how, like, and as Americans, we all hate each other, and ironically, that's what unites us is how much we hate each other. And Kevin was like, oh yeah, I could do something with that. I was like, all right. So we wrote that song pretty early on. All right. So by the time that all this shit has been going on, we'd been playing that song for about a year. So I'd heard it a certain way and whatever. So him becoming more of the material is not so much as that, is he started, because we fucking propped him up. We gave him that ego. It's the ego that he has now is an ego that I created, that Dope Show refined. He can deny that all he wants. Before ZombieFace, he was nothing. He was nobody. Like I said, he was a fan of mine. And this is not shit talking. This is just telling the truth. So he wrote that song. I will give him credit for that. In fact, when we recorded our demo EP without him, on the back, I literally put lyrics for this particular song by Kevin Lizot. But he doesn't ever mention that. He just says, oh, y'all are singing my song, and no. For that particular song, he wrote that song with ZombieFace. And the reason that once I let him go, the reason we kept singing it is because, number 1, I wrote the fucking thing, music-wise. Number 2, I'd been hearing it this way, for a year and a half now. That's the way the song is. Number 3, fuck you. You're not going to tell me how to run my shit. You know what I mean? And I hold that, dearly. But once we let him go, he was like, I want y'all to purge everything that I was ever in, and I don't want to be part of whatever the fuck. Which I was, again, fuck you.
That's standard band.
Yeah. But my thing
thing
is, you're not gonna tell me how to run my shit. So when we were looking for another singer, here's the thing. All this beef is not Kevin versus ZombieFace. It's Kevin versus me. I gotta clear that up.
So the other guys don't have.
No, the other guys, they're he got real mad at Cody for some reason. I think it's because Cody has the same body structure as him, and I'm like 3 or 4 times bigger than Kevin. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but every time that me and him get into it, for some reason, Cody comes up into the argument, and he's just like, I'll beat Cody's ass. I'm like, who the fuck's talking about Cody? Like,
I got you.
I'm not saying that means anything in particular. Or maybe they had their own beef. I don't know. But ever since I fired him, and the reasoning behind it, not to get too fucking behind the music, but every time that we talked about firing him, we'd always have a show coming up. So we're like, well, we can't fire him just yet because we got a show. We do the show, and the show's fucking perfect. And we're like, everything's fine. And that's the problem. That is a terrible habit to have. It's a habit that's haunting me now. Just because you're in a good mood doesn't mean the right decision is not right. But we let it go. We let it go. And then eventually, it just got too much. You know what I mean? And what happened was I tried to, he was my brother, dude. And that's something I will never deny. Like that dude, I loved Kevin, man. When we were in the band together, we were fucking brothers, inseparable, man. Like, he would, understandably, he would feel real depressed about his wife. Like, he missed his wife. And one day he put on Facebook, like, I'm feeling real depressed. Can someone please come talk to me? And it was like midnight. And I was in bed already, right, with my wife. And I'm reading the comments, and all the comments were like, man, I would if I could, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, this fucking kid, man. I'm like, I say kid, but he's like 2 years younger than me. But like up here, he's a baby. So yeah, bitch, you're a baby. So I told my wife, like, hey, I gotta go check on them, man. Like, something's not right. So I, drove past midnight to his house and just hung out with him just because he wanted, See, my thing is, when it comes to the music shit, I'm more business oriented. I try to be professional about it, and that's why I've never started a band with friends. Like, everybody in ZombieFace, they're my friends now, but that's not how it started. So, like, Cody is my right-hand man. He's my brother, but I told him if it wasn't for ZombieFace, I wouldn't know you. So don't forget that. So I don't really keep a friendship with the band members too much. I keep to myself. I'm a social opposite of a social butterfly, whatever the fuck the saying is. So me going to his house was me stepping out of my own comfort zone, because I'm just not that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I hear you every day, but your problems are your problems. But I went to him, and we just hung out. I think we played Red Dead Redemption or something, and just talked. And he told me how much he missed. Her name is Annie. How much he missed her. And I'm like, well, dude, this is a choice you made. But, we hugged it out. We were good friends, whatever. And then that was that. See, he never brings that up, ever. For, the reason, because he wants to paint me as this fucking evil bastard, whatever. So I was having trouble in my marriage at one point, right? And that's a long story, but if you want the short story, is I fucked up, right? The same thing that happened to him. Mm-hmm. I fucking got into with this one chick, and I fucking felt like shit immediately, right? And I'm not trying to paint a sympathetical picture, but I felt like shit about it, and I confided with him about it. I don't know why I chose him, but I was like, you know what? Kevin's my brother. I got to tell somebody this because my guilt was killing me. So I told him about it, or I think I told him about it, or something. He knew about it, basically. I haven't thought about this in a while. And then the thing about the second band happened. So all that shit was going on. He got involved with this other girl who started accusing him of some serious shit that I'm not going to repeat, but some serious career-destroying shit. Mm-hmm. So once again, all these venue owners are calling me. All these bookers are calling me. They're like, hey, it doesn't look good that your lead singer is da-da-da-da-da. And he's still talking shit about these other bands, big local bands, and talking shit about all these people in the scene. And, it's not good for ZombieFace. So I called him up. I told him about that. I had to talk about that with him. And he, it got heated. It got heated. And I told him, like, hey, it's just the way things are going right now. I don't want to lose ZombieFace because I feel like, here's where I fucked up. My choice of words stabbed me here. I was like, I already feel like I lost you because you're being disloyal to the band. Mm. That's where I fucked up. Because he goes, oh, you want to call me disloyal?
And then he brought the,
and then he hung up on me.
On
he hung up on me. And I was like, 5 minutes later, my wife calls me. What the fuck is this? Blah, 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 blah. Bam, divorced. Mm. And that divorce led me down a horrible fucking path, man. A path I don't wish on anybody. But the problem is, we had a show coming up in San Antonio.
You tell me y'all still did the show after that?
For a month. For a month, we had to do band practice. I had to keep a fucking like I had to act like this kid did not just ruin my life, you know, and because I didn't want him to quit. I wanted to personally fire him. I was like, that's it. Like, I fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, what I did, but that wasn't his business to say. You know what I mean? And I don't condone what I did, you know. And if my ex is watching this for whatever reason, I've apologized to her a million times. Things with me and her are great now. But that's what led to it. And that's like the worst time period of my life. Like, the music suffered because of it. Like, I know the music not as important as real life, but music is the only thing that got me through it. And I was like, I can't be with Kevin anymore. So I had to, but we still had the show a month away. So for a month, I had to pretend like, nah, dude, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. As soon as we played that show in San Antonio, literally, as soon as we got off the stage, we need to talk. Went outside. I was like, hey, we're going to let you go. Like, I can't be in a band with you anymore. And, you know, thing is, he'd been talking a lot of shit to me up until that point. Like, really trying to get under my skin. And I wouldn't let him. Or he didn't know I wouldn't let him. He was killing me. But I was like, I can't lash out on him and risk him quitting. Because it's just not, that's not what I want to do. I want to personally be the one to fire him. So the thing about Kevin is when he's in a situation where he's getting grilled by somebody, the first thing he does is try to turn other people against him. Because the first thing when I was talking to him, it wasn't just me and him. It was me, Cody, and our bassist Crow. And as soon as I told him that, like, yeah, we don't want to be in the band with you, blah, blah, blah. First thing he tried to do was like, yeah, man, I understand, but you should know that Cody also talks shit about you behind your back. And I'm like,
gotcha.
Oh, that's between me and Cody.
Yeah.
Even if it's true.
Deflecting.
Yeah, even if it's true, I don't give a shit. That's not the issue right now. So whatever, we left. We went walking around town or whatever, and he actually kept our pay. Like he said, nothing substantial, $75.
$75 thing he was talking about, yeah.
But he kept it, right? He did not text us about it because we were getting shit-faced at a club down the street. So he did not text us about it. And then we went to Six Flags the next day. It was nice, by the way. So he kept our money that was specifically for us. Now, the money he's talking about is we had a band bank, right? And it had $400 in it. Those $400 came from merch sales, from T-shirts and all the shit that we had that he did not contribute to at all. There was no severance pay. There was no, and I wasn't talking about technicalities. I didn't say technically you're not in the band. No, you're not in the band. That money is not for you. That money is for band members because only once, like basically that money's there because if anybody in the band needs it, let me know. We'll fucking, you can take it. Only one person has ever taken money out of that bank, and that was fucking Kevin. He called me once, like, hey bro, I really need $20. I'm like, well, I don't have any money, but we got money in the band bank and it's your money. And I gave him $20. He doesn't mention that. Why? Because it doesn't follow his agenda. So if anything, he owes me money. I was, you know what? Whatever. That's fine. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want nothing to do with you. And we went our separate ways for a little while. It was hard finding a singer. It really was, you know, because what we had with Kevin at the time was something fucking great, you know, and I never denied that either. I mean, listening back to it now compared to what we have now, I feel like we're much better now. But 2018, you know, that ZombieFace, Kevin was part of that. It got to the point where he wanted us to carry him on stage and shit. Like, you know, no, dude, like, no, that's not gonna fly. And we found a guy to do vocals for a little bit, but it didn't work. It didn't work out. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna fucking take over vocals. So I used to wear a mask. So I took the mask off, and my stage name, character, faceless, whatever, that had to die because now I took the mask off and now I'm somebody else completely. So I sang for a little while, and I'm not a vocalist, like, at all. And you can tell by the early recordings, man. Like, the shit we did at R&R, I had been singing for like a month or two. So we have a video of that on YouTube. And, you know, when Kevin's bored and wants fucking attention, he'll just talk shit to us. So he commented on there, the vocals are trash, right? Because it was my vocals. And my percussionist, Adam, he just fucking went off on him. Like, oh, you're fucking trash, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Kevin's a fucking idiot because I'm like, I actually agree with you. Like, the vocals are trash. Because, like, I don't know how to fucking sing. But the way he went about it, you know what I mean? It's like...
Just him taking shots.
Just taking shots. That's all it is. Like, he's a fucking... That's how he is, man. He talks shit online. And that's all he's known for. And it's not just me at this point, because over time people started realizing how this guy is. You know, he wants to call me a fucking snake with, what do you say, no legs crawling in the grass. He's a fucking worm, no teeth, crawling through shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. At this point, all the drama that he has with me, it's fucking entertaining to me. It's such a fucking blast, because I'm one of those guys where it's like, it's not an ego thing, but if you don't like me, it's because something's wrong with you.
At some point, though, do you think you have to let that go?
That's
because it spills, as you've seen,
Yeah.
and it infects the whole scene.
Yeah. The thing is, that's what, for me, that's what this is about tonight. Like, I just want to tell my side of the story, and after this, dude, I'm dropping it. Kevin can say whatever he wants, dude. It's not my problem anymore. Like, I've entertained it long enough, you know, and you know, this kid, I know exactly what kind of person he is. And simply because, like, the little skirmishes that we've had over the years at this point, you know what I mean? It's like, he'll talk shit to me online, I run into him in person, and I'm not a confrontational guy, you know, but I'm one of those guys where it's like, if you disrespect me, like, online, that's one thing. If you threaten me online, then it's like, all right, well, I want to give you the chance to show that you're not a pussy about it. You know what I mean? So, I'm not, like I said, I'm not confrontational. I haven't gotten into a fight in like 20 years. If I were to fight Kevin, he'd probably beat my ass. I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't care. You know, but I'll beat his ass without brass knuckles. So he'll talk shit to me and say, oh, if I ever see him, I'll beat his ass, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right. So he was in that Dope Show tribute, right? Which, by the way, before he got into that Dope Show tribute, and I don't think even he knows this. So I was at work one day, and an ex-band member called me up, right? We're on good terms. He called me up, and he's like, hey, a friend of mine has a Manson tribute, and they're looking for a singer. He's like, and I don't know if at this point Kevin had auditioned, or if they were just looking at him, or I don't know what the fuck, but he asked me, like, they want to know, would Kevin be a good fit for it? And he's like, well, you know Kevin better than I do, so I figured I'd call and ask you. And I told him, well, honestly, yeah, I think Kevin would be a great fit. Because I recommend, and at this point, me and Kevin were on bad terms. I was like, I think Kevin would be a good fit. Just go ahead and tell him that, yeah, I basically approve. So Kevin got the gig, and I don't think he even fucking knows that. So surprise, motherfucker. So I gave him the gig in ZombieFace. I gave him the gig in the Dope Show. And he can deny that till his fucking teeth fall out again. Like, you know, I don't give a shit. The truth is the truth, and whatever you say is your version of it. So he was talking shit to us online, as he does. And I hear this through other people because he's got me blocked on everything. Because that's the kind of person. He goes, fuck you, block. So I told him, all right, you know, he has a show at Warehouse Live, and I'm not the type of guy to fuck up a show.
This is the show he said you guys were there as spiritists.
Before that.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, he's telling people online that, you know, he's going to beat my ass. He's known to be a shit talker. I was like, let me give him my hand and let him prove to people he's not a pussy. So I went to his show. And once I saw him, I told him, hey, I need to talk to you. And he was in full fucking lingerie and whatever. Remind me about that, the R&R thing. That was great. Went to the back and started talking to him, and I was like, look, man, I told him straight up, I'm not here to fuck up your show at all. I'm not going to mess with you, nothing like that. I'm here to see your show, actually. But you've been saying online that you're going to beat my ass and that, you know, this and this and that. I'm just here to, you know, see if, you know, you want to prove that you're not a pussy and what do you want to do? Is if you don't want to do anything, stop your shit. I'll stop my shit, and that'll be it. And real quick, he's like, nah, man, no, I wouldn't, you know, not here. I wouldn't do that here. And I'm like, I'm not saying we're going to do that here. And again, I was not confrontational at all. He's like, oh, I'll stop my shit. Like, all right. So that was that. Because the R&R thing, what happened was we were having an interview with this guy, Roger. I think his name is Roger. I'm sorry. I don't remember. It's a while back. And he was asking about, you know, the history of the band. And at this point, we were on good terms with Kevin. Because I told him, obviously, I have to tell this, you know, yeah, we had another singer. It didn't work out. Yeah, I have the clip. I'll show it to you some other time. I was like, it didn't work out, you know, and then he asked, like, well, so what happened? Y'all just got rid of the weakest link? And I even said, no, he wasn't the weakest link. He just, like, didn't fit for what we were trying to do. because, you know, I didn't want to put our business out there about what happened. And Cody said, you know, egos clash, whatever. And what Roger said was, because he saw that we were all, you know, like make-upped out and shit, he was like, so what, he wanted to wear tuxedos or what? And then that's why we fucking laughed a little bit, like, no, lingerie. And Roger started laughing his ass off because he didn't realize that wasn't a joke. Like,
Yeah, that's
Kevin's wearing lingerie. Like, aren't you wearing lingerie? But that's where it stopped. We weren't making fun of him for it at all. He just said, oh, lingerie. And then right after that, I said, but look, if he's watching, you know, no hard feelings, you know, shout out to Kevin, blah, 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 and this and that. Like, yeah, we're all buddies, whatever. Come to find out, he didn't even see that interview. What happened was I ran into him at a gas station once, like after we recorded that interview, but before they posted it. And I was telling him about it. I was like, yeah, dude, we did this interview like a couple days ago. It was badass. He was like, we brought up the thing about Dope Show. I was like, oh, what'd you say? And I was like, oh, well, the thing is, since we had just recorded it, I forgot who said what. And I was like, yeah, he asked us if you wanted to wear tuxedos. And I think Cody said that you wanted to wear lingerie. And Kevin was like, ha, ha, ha. And for the longest time, he was like, oh, Cody said that shit. Come to find out, he never even saw the interview. He was just angry about me telling him that he said that. So he never even saw it. If he would have seen it, he would have seen that we weren't making fun of him. We were just, aren't you wearing lingerie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, Jesus Christ, dude. The whole thing about how he said, yeah, so what? I get more pussy than you? I'm like, bro, we're not 15, dog. Like, I get more respect than you. So it's like, what? How is that an insult? I was married for 16 years. Yeah, you got more pussy than me. That really doesn't mean shit to me. I'm a grown-ass man. Like, come on, man. This is why I call him a kid, because he's so fucking immature in his head. And
he was even, and I don't know, I don't want to put words into his mouth, but I could have swore he had said something like, he had even tried to tell you that, you know, you want to squash it and get back together or do something to get ZombieFace back together.
Yeah.
Did you heard that from him?
Yeah, definitely. I don't deny that at all. He would call me, he would text me out of the blue, would just be like, hey man, one of the times that we squashed our shit, and he would tell me, this is before Dope Show, obviously. He's like, hey man, you know, I'm real sorry about all the shit that happened. Let's bury the hatchet, get back together and do what we're meant to do. And several times. The first couple of times, no, dude. Like my divorce thing, it's too recent. Like I can't be in a band with you right now, dude. And then the time when I'm finally like, we were okay, we had already got another guy. And then I told him, I'm sorry, dude. Like I'd love to have you back, because at that point I had already moved on. My personal problems I had already fixed, sorta. And I was ready to move on. But we already had another guy. But again, that was one of the times, because me and Kevin, we're from good to bad, good to bad, good to bad. It's very, it varies. And that was one of the good times that we were okay. So, yeah, he begged me several times to come back. And I was just like, even though I know that might be the better option, you know, because at the beginning, people have told me that, you know.
For the art, as you're saying, it would be better.
It would be better because I wouldn't be able to play with him.
But it's not healthy.
No. No, at that point, no, it was not. It's just better off we just, you know, and his original project never really picked up, or it hasn't yet. He's been doing tributes.
The Manson?
No. The Damien thing.
Oh, the Damien thing.
That hasn't picked up. I mean, he's been doing tributes ever since. So, but yeah, he wanted to, you know, rekindle whatever, but it wasn't even like I said, no, fuck you. I was like, no, dude, I don't think that's a good idea. So don't think it was like me being vulgar or me being an asshole, because that wasn't the case at all.
What did the other band members say about it?
It's up to me. I mean, that's just what they said. They said personally, you know, that they don't think it's a good idea, but ultimately it was my choice. And that's not I'm not a dictator or anything, but it's kind of like when you take over animating for Disney, you know what I mean? Like, it's your art, but you know who it fucking belongs to.
Yeah.
You know, and I got it fucking tattooed on my fucking hand, you know, so it's like I'm real fucking serious about it. It's a brand I have to protect, and that's someone I have to protect it from. You know, and now what he bitched about stealing his music, it's a song, like I said, you know.
It's a ZombieFace song.
He wrote it with ZombieFace. It was our song. We officially copyrighted it because we put it on a demo and all that shit's whatever. And gave him credit, by the way. But what happened was we did a photo shoot for a recent album cover with Raquel Rockstar. You know her?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So she's on our one of our singles cover.
Shout out to Raquel.
Shout out to Raquel.
Yeah.
So we did this badass photo shoot, and so that's how me and her kind of became friends, knew each other. So she posted a video of her wearing one of our ZombieFace shirts because I gave her a ZombieFace shirt for as like a thank you. I paid her too, but as a souvenir. And it was the shirt that we made for United Hate, which is the song that Kevin wrote. So Kevin saw that and he was fucking furious because he's like, they're still playing my music, they're still using my song. We haven't played that song in like a year. You know what I mean? Like I decided to retire that song. Like we're not gonna fucking play it ever again. Now my fucking drummer wants to rewrite it. I was like, whatever. The second song, I didn't know what he was talking about. But now I know what he's talking about. He wrote another song. It wasn't Martyr, like you said. He got the names wrong. It was Deadbeat Messiah. And again, it's one of those songs where I had the title, I had the subject matter. Here's what I want you to write about. And we finished it right before the first tune out. There's only one video of Kevin performing that song, and it was at tune out. And that was around the time, like, we fired him a few months later. So that song, it was still brand new. So it was very easy to rewrite. So Cody rewrote it completely from scratch. I don't even remember what it sounded like with Kevin. And that's our opener. And we've already recorded it. It's on Spotify. It's got it's album cover, all this shit. So no, Kevin wrote one song, not two. Second song, we got rid of it. There was a third song that he was working on with us that he called War Machine. But I always, on purpose, kind of didn't work on it as much because I had a bad feeling about this kid. My instinct was right because that would have been another song we had to scrap. And I don't like working backwards. I could write songs for days, but I don't like working backwards. And I just wanted to purge him completely. But yeah, we stopped singing that song a while back, like a long time ago. And one thing I've noticed is every kind gesture that I do, he misinterprets completely. Because after that thing at Warehouse, when I confronted him and we didn't, nothing happened from it, a couple months later, when he was, in his usual shit talking, he's like, yeah, that's why you came up to me at Warehouse and didn't do shit. Like, are you going to talk shit about me for not beating your ass? Like, that's fucking stupid. That's like childish. So we did a show. We did a show at Scout, and he was there. It was the first time I'd seen him since I fired him. So as soon as I walked out there in the patio and saw him, it was like, what the fuck's gonna happen, And I was like, you know what? I'm happy to see you, man. I fucking shook his hand, hugged him, and it was all great. So we played our set, and at the time, we were still playing United Hate. When that song came on, Kevin was in the front row. And I was like, man, like I said, I was happy to see him. And I was like, let me let him come up here and sing this song just like for old time's sake, right? And he came up on stage and we fucking sang like old times. And I was like, man, that was fucking fun. Shook his hand, hugged it out. And that was that. Come to see your interview last week or 2 or 3 weeks ago. And
He saw it totally different.
Yeah, he's like, man, he couldn't even sing my song, man. He looked at me, he's like, oh, I can't do it. Like, no, you fucking idiot. It was like a fucking, from my perspective, it was like a heartwarming, like, dude, we squashed our shit for the 8th time. Man, get up here, dude. Just fucking like old times. Nah, it's because I couldn't sing. I couldn't bring it to myself to sing his fucking song. Like, he's not some lyrical genius either. I just heard it this way for so long. I'm not going to change it. Yeah. And again, you're not going to tell me how to run my shit. But my drummer told me how to run my shit, so I stopped. So we stopped singing it, I was like, I can write more songs. It's fine. I'd rather recycle the riffs or whatever the fuck. So that was that issue. I try to remember because I watched the interview a couple times, because leading up to it, he had made a comment about, I'm not going to give somebody like that my spotlight, and then spend about 90% of it talking about me. So I was like, that's cute. And I had so many people asking me, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm like, to be honest with you, man, I'm so fucking tired of me giving him my spotlight, because I've been told, like, Punk Star has told me, these fucking Clown Car Productions have told me, like, fucking a bunch of different people told me, like, dude, Kevin's got nothing, dude. He's like, the only reason he's staying relevant is because he's getting under your skin and you're giving him exposure. And, like, I know that. It's just he gets under my skin because he's the only person in my life that I've ever had a problem with, ever. And he led me to, like I said, the worst time of my life, which is not so much because of him, but he's the one that, you know what I mean? So I hated Kevin for a very long time. And when I say hate, I don't mean like, oh, fuck that guy. No, I fucking hated Kevin. The seeing his name on paper made me want to fucking. To this day, the thing that me and Kevin had in common the most is that we were both really into Manson. Like when we were at ZombieFace practice and the drummer was setting up, me and him would jam out Manson songs. And somebody told us, man, you guys would fucking make it as a Manson tribute. And irony being what it is, I was like, nah, man, we can't compete with the Dope Show.
Right.
So I have not been able to listen to Manson since. I have not been able to listen to Manson for the last 3 years. Even if I'm home alone, as like, no one's gonna know, I can't. I hear Manson and I just get like, I can't do it anymore. And it sucks because that was my shit in high school, man. I fucking loved Marilyn Manson. Saying the name Marilyn Manson reminds me of that time of my life when, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, maybe just from the outside
Yeah.
looking in, maybe you don't need to forgive him. Maybe you don't need to squash it.
maybe not. But to be honest with you, it's not about because I feel it's what's right. It's because I'm like, I'm gonna squash it. If you want to be mad, if you want to keep it going, it's completely one-sided. If you want to be mad at me, put on a fucking cape and be super fucking mad because I don't give a shit. And for the longest time, once his actions had no consequence for me, it just became entertainment. I'm like, oh shit, Kevin's mad at me? Oh, this is gonna be great. Let me see what he's got to say. And I would read his comments that people send me because, you know, we have a lot of mutual friends.
But isn't it the back and forth? Isn't it damaging?
It is.
The
It
brand,
is.
isn't like you said?
It is, and that's why I'm putting an end to it. Because the thing is, the back and forth is damaging the brand, but he's starting off by damaging the brand. When my percussionist joined the band, he posts, oh, I'm in ZombieFace, this is going to be awesome. Kevin commented, oh, you joined the trashest band, whatever. If he sees the name ZombieFace anywhere, he'll comment, oh, they're trash. And the problem is, once he sees that someone has anything to do with me, he'll message them and make them choose. Either you're my friend or you're his friend. And they always choose me. And he's lost a lot of friends that way. And I'm just like, you're a fucking idiot. Because people have told me, like, yeah, I'm friends with Kevin. I'm like, dude, that's fucking cool. I don't give a shit. You know, if you want to be his friend, be his friend. Just like he's got people watching me, you know, mutual friends. Like, I don't, it's all entertainment to me. And the more he tries to bash me, the more people take my side. So it's really just doing me better. And I am not a vengeful person, man. Like, I'm just trying to make music, dude. You know, but he's like fucking herpes. You know, he comes up every once in a while. He's the human equivalent of herpes. He just comes up every once in a while and it's something I gotta fucking deal with. And this kid, man, he's so fucking funny. He's fucking hilarious, even when I'm reading shit that has nothing to do with me. A lot of people do not like Kevin. A lot of people in the scene do not like him. And he takes it as a badge of honor, like, I'm the villain. It's not that he's a villain. It's just that a lot of people want to beat his ass because of the stupid shit he says and the stupid shit he does and the stupid shit he is accused of. Now, it's one of those things where an accusation, words don't have weight unless there's action behind it. But if you have 7 or 8 people saying the same thing,
Yeah.
unless you believe that these 7 or 8 strangers got together and said, hey, let's run a smear campaign against Kevin Lizot, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like, how can this many people just make shit up? So my work is done. You know what I mean? He bashed all the wrong people. I exposed that. I made sure the right people saw what he was saying. And honestly, I'm at the point where if he gets blacklisted from every venue in Houston, or if nothing happens at all, my reaction is going to be the same. Hey, ZombieFace has a show coming up. And that's all that matters to me. He's a footnote. What he was great for what we needed him to be. But that's that. And I'm done with it. This is a fucking feud that's been going on for 3 years now. And, you know, I'm just done. So,
All right.
and anything he, at this point, anything he's got to say, it's just more shit to.
Well, from what he said, that was his throwing the trash. That he was done with it as well.
Yeah,
That was his last.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I'm totally done with it. But, you know, there's still some things that I just got to clarify. You know what I mean? Like, a funny story, because that one thing I haven't brought up is the Spiritist thing. So, the Spiritist thing was, if I got time, do I have time?
Yeah, you're good.
I've been fucking babbling. The Spiritist thing is I wanted to take a stab at a tribute. I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can do something, right? because just to branch out a little bit. And I know that makes me seem hypocritical because I bitched about having other projects. But at this point, like, so much had happened. I was like, you know what? I need to fucking branch out. And I was real good at karaoke, so I was like, all right, what bands can I fucking tribute? Originally, I wanted to tribute System of a Down, but I was looking up bands in Houston, and I saw that there already was one in Houston, so I was like, fuck. So I looked up Metallica. There's already like 2. Pantera, there's like 86.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Rammstein, I was like, I don't speak
man.
German. Fuck. So I found Ghost. And I was like, oh, Ghost, that's a badass idea. And I was like, all right, I'm going to put this band together, see where it goes from that. And I was like, it's going to take me a while anyway, you know, to find musicians. Like a week later, I found all the musicians. I was like, fuck. Like, this is really going to happen. So we practiced for a whole fucking year before we even thought about doing shows. And I told them, they knew the whole story about Kevin. Again, because I'm a professional, I don't start bands with friends. So these are all strangers to me. And they're fucking rich, all of them. I'm the poor one of the band. I was like, fuck. One of them's literally a doctor. I'm like, oh, fuck
man.
you. If you're watching, fuck you, John. You rich bitch. Ghoul. So I told them about my story with Kevin. And sure enough, they all had stories about him. So I thought that was cute. And I told him, look, man, it's inevitable. It's fucking inevitable. We're going to end up doing a show with Dope Show. Like, because it's like peas and carrots, like Forrest and Jenny. It's going to fucking happen. Once you fucking know it, John Escamilla calls me up. And he's like, hey, we're putting I saw you guys, blah, 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 you know, we're putting a show together at Warehouse Live. I was like, fuck, dude. Fuck yeah, let's do it. He goes, yeah, you're going to be on the bill with El Superbisto. I'm like, oh, cool, those are my friends. And the Dope Show. I was like, fuck. I was like, God damn it. But I'm not about to tell them no, right? Because it's Warehouse Live, you know? And I was like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? Because I'm like, well, the only thing I got is that part of the tribute was the anonymity thing. I was really going to try to, like, keep that going, like, where nobody knows it's us. And it's really hard to do. So I was like, fuck. It. Maybe he won't know, whatever. And, fuck it. I'm not about to tell them no. And because all these people, these 5 band members are looking at me like, hey, you got us a fucking show? And I was like, yeah, I got a show. So once we got all our shit together, got the costume, we did a little photo shoot. And the problem is we did the photo shoot at the White Swan. And you see the letters in the back, the White Swan. Kevin knows that's where ZombieFace practiced. And Kevin, the entire, like 100% of the White Swan crowd hates Kevin. Because he threatened to fucking blow the place up. It was that bad. Like, the owners hate him. So he saw it, and he's a smart kid. I will give him that. Because I always told him, fucking, look, everything you look at, see what's in front and see what's behind. And that fucking backfired on me. He messaged the band, and he was like, you know, is any one of you members in ZombieFace? Because if it is, I'm not working with y'all. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really about to tell this kid, you got me. I guess I'm not playing Warehouse Live for our debut show. You got me. So I told him, hey, we're anonymous, you know. And on the day of the show, we showed up in full costume. We were all the ghouls or whatever, and we did sound check in costume, and Kevin was there. And he just looked fucking scared, squirrely little bastard. And so we did our sound check, and we went backstage to the dressing room. The bassist of El Superbisto is this chick, and she's friends with Kevin, right? So she had access to the back rooms. Well, then technically so did he. But we're in there talking in the in the dressing room, and we're in full costume still. And Kevin just walks in the door with the chick. He walks in the door, and he literally does this, looks around, and then he just leaves. And I was like, you didn't get me, bitch. So I was like, all right, let's go eat something, right? So we walk outside, around back. We walk like 2 fucking blocks. And I was like, fuck it, I'm taking this shit off. I took all my shit off. I turned the corner, and there's fucking Kevin, like face to face. I was like, oh, fuck. And what he said was true. Like, it sounded like I was kissing his ass, but because I was panicking, and I was like, because I wasn't expecting that. And I was like, oh, fuck, hey, what's up? And I was like, it's like, yeah, I knew you'd figure it out. I knew you figured out it was me, blah, 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 like, because you're fucking smart. And he is. I'll stick to that. He's fucking smart. God, that shit was so fucking funny, because I was like, because before that show, we got offered a second show at Scout with the same lineup. So after that, I just told the band, hey, we ain't doing that second show. I can tell you right now, we ain't doing that second show. And he didn't start any shit that night, because, you know, I was there physically. And we did the show. It was great, blah, blah, blah. A couple days later, owner of Scout Bar calls me. And he's like, hey, man, we're gonna take you off the. And I was like, I know. Like, you ain't gotta tell me. I know. And it's not even so much that Kevin had the power to be like, take them off. No, because what Kevin was doing is, I'm not gonna play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play. If they're playing, I'm not gonna play. That's all he did. So he's all, again hyping himself up, thinking he's got this kind of authority, not knowing that I'm cool with like most of the dudes that he knows, you know. And then, you know, my relationship with Punkstar and Chris Harding and them started getting better and better, and he didn't like that. So this fucking idiot started another Manson tribute, but wanted the blessing of his current Manson tribute. And if that's not the epitome of fucking stupid, I don't know what is. And I'll tell him that to his face. You're a fucking idiot for that. You know, because Dope Show was incredible. You know, even before Kevin. That's the thing about Kevin is he joined an already successful tribute band, and acted like he had something to do with that. So he would brag to us like, "Oh, dude, I'm playing sold out shows, and you guys are still playing at a Acadia to 10 people." I'm like, "Yeah, but those 10 people are ZombieFace fans. That packed crowd are not Kevin fans. They're Manson fans. So sidestep me with that bullshit. You know, I'd rather fail on my own than have somebody buy my success." Which sounds hypocritical because I'm in 2 tributes, but I don't claim to be like, I wrote these songs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing this shit for fun.
Right.
So, in the end, what it is Kevin is a shit talker, an amazing shit talker, but that's where it stops. In person, he is the sweetest fucking guy. Like one time, he messaged the band. Spirit is telling me I'm the one that got y'all kicked off the show, like it was a mystery. And he was calling me a worm. He was calling me a coward. He's like, you should have told me it was you so I could cancel the show. And I'm like, again, why would I do that? Because you're a fucking coward. I'm like, whatever. 7 hours after he sent me that, I ran into him at Scout Bar. And this boy was fucking terrified. He'll deny it. He'll be like, nah, you know, whatever. But he was fucking shaking. And I just went up to him and talked to him. And there was a mutual friend that was there with us, so he didn't know what was going on. And I told him, hey, man, look, all bullshit aside, this is fucking hilarious. And he was like, oh, yeah. And I was trying to sneak a picture to show that, hey, this fucking guy just talked shit about me in person. And I was like, you know what? This is a fucking victory. I just put on selfie and I just did that. And then again, he pulled the whole, you see me in person and you don't do shit. He's a trip, man. I love this kid. That's the thing, dude. He's fucking hilarious because he's so, you know, when you back up like a kitten, when you back up a kitten in the corner, he puts his little claws out and you know he ain't gonna do shit. That's Kevin Lizot. That Kevin, and the problem is, I think it's adorable. I think it's hilarious. But this idiot has pissed off the wrong people. People, you know, that don't think it's hilarious. People that don't think it's adorable. You know what I mean? Kevin, he puts his little peacock feathers out and doesn't realize that somebody's going to check him on it. And for the longest time, I wanted it to be me because he caused my divorce. He led me down a path of depression that landed me in a fucking mental hospital. I hated Kevin. But then I got to a point in my life where it's like, hey, man, this shit ain't worth it, dude. Like, let him talk his shit. For every fan that we lost, I've doubled. It's like I've been the singer twice as long as he has on my own accord. You know what I mean? Like SLM, we've been nominated every fucking year. We won once with him, which was great. Dope Show has been nominated. Dope Show's won, but again, they were already big. You know what I'm saying? Like none of his original shit has won anything or even been nominated for anything. We've performed at SLM. So all Kevin is a shit that I took 3 years ago. And I'll fucking put that in writing. And that's all he'll ever be known as, a ZombieFace reject. And I mean that with the utmost respect. So he can say whatever he wants about me. The whole scene is on my side. Anyone who doesn't like me is because they don't know my side of the story. That's simple as that. So, you know, I don't hate the guy. I don't love the guy. I just don't give a shit about the guy. And that's, after today, man, say whatever you want, dude. Tell people I fucking set a school bus on fire. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm done.
So that's hands washed, clean.
Yeah. I'm not burying the hatchet, dude. I'm throwing it away.
Gotcha.
That's it for me.
All right. Well, definitely want to thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Closing the loop on the story.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing the story. We will see, I guess, as music scene people. Hopefully it is the end because, like I said, it does start to infest the scene to a
Yeah.
point where people start getting involved that shouldn't be involved.
Definitely.
And from people that have been in the business for many, many, many years, we've seen our share of feuds
Yep.
that have gotten drastic, that
Oh,
have
yeah.
gotten violent, that have
Yeah.
gotten stupid, that have gotten ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
We even had ours, but we learned a long time ago. I just don't do business with that person
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way. But
So-
the thing about it is, I don't, like I said, since I don't hate the guy, I'll fucking, in the future, I'll do a fucking show with him. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, if it's business, it's business. I just
Right.
I just don't want anything to do with him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, if on a personal level, I think what was the saying that I don't want to see him starve. I just don't want him to eat at my table.
Yeah.
Good.
So I have no ill will towards him at all. Just the only thing, he's just, somebody that I used to know.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's that. If I see him in person, I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm too old for that, dude.
Right.
All right. Well, appreciate you coming out.
Yeah.
SLM Podcast episode. What did we say? This was seven,
Number
right?
7.
Episode number 7 is in the
Siete.
books. We got 3 left, like I said, for us to do our 10 episodes.
Right.
We still need to get Booker T out here to do
Yep.
his.
Book.
He promised us like 25 times already.
It's a busy
So
man.
we'll
busy
try
man.
and get him out there.
Yeah.
But Mr. Stewart, Mr. Rick Stewart,
Thank you.
we will see y'all. Remember, everybody, December 17th, Scout
Yes.
Bar, SLM Awards Show. You get to see me back on stage if you want to. I
Finally.
don't know. I'll see if I
Finally.
can even remember any of the songs we wrote.
That's
Oh,
badass
yeah.
though, dude. That you're coming back with that. 'Cause once you get a kick out of performing, man,
Yep.
it's you want to do that over and over.
Exactly.
And
I've
over.
been telling him for too long. Finally.
That's
So,
fucking badass.
we'll see. Like I said, we'll have some special guests,
Yeah.
and we'll see if we can have fun that night. But keep up with us. Keep up with the website. We will announce more in the coming weeks.
Oh, don't you want to mention about the music that's getting ready to release?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
No, not
Can
yet.
I plug?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right,
Do
so check out ZombieFace. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Victims of a System, tribute to System of a Down, Facebook and Instagram, and Spiritus, a tribute to Ghost, Facebook and Instagram. Coincidentally, all 3 of these bands, from what I've heard, are trash. So there you go. Check us out and come out to a show.
Hell
All
yeah.
right, guys. Well, we are out. Dub outro music.
Let's do it. All right.
All that shit is actually made it up. None of that was true.